What's going on, guys? Jay Yudlowski here. So I know a lot of times you feel like you got to be in a great spot to get a good photo, but the other day I took a photo for my Instagram page and I wanted to just show you how you don't need to be in an awesome spot to get an awesome photo. So here I am in my driveway, which is where I took this photo, and I'm just going to show you over here how I did that and how I got the image that I posted. So let me get set up here and I'll show you where it came from. All right, so here it is. This is where I took the picture that you're gonna see. I'll flash it up on the screen here for you. And I got a little puddle right over here, right there. Right there, I got a little puddle, and that's where I pretty much took the picture. All right, so here I am in my driveway. I got a puddle right here. I got leaves that have been falling off the trees here, and I'm gonna show you how to get a cool looking shot, or at least what I think is a cool shot from in the driveway here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take a picture of my cell phone. Now, it's the first thing most people are gonna do. They're gonna take their phone out and they're gonna say, oh, cool, you know, and stand up here and take a picture like this. It doesn't look that great, you know, I'm gonna flash that up on the screen for you. Or, you know, maybe they'll even get down here. And you know what, that's starting to look a little bit better, but still, it's not great. So what do? Take out our DSLR, we're gonna use depth of field to help us get a good image and not see all the other stuff in the background that's going on. I'm gonna use an aperture of, say, f3.5. I'm going to start with an ISO of 200, and I'm gonna get down low here, and I'm gonna try and get that puddle right at the bottom of my frame, and then I'm gonna just snap a couple pictures, and then we're gonna jump over to the computer and check them out. All right, so we're gonna get down low here. I'm gonna move my focus points to the top of my frame. I'm gonna focus on the leaves just past the water, take a picture. We'll take two. Let's see, I need adjust my shutter speed. Shutter speed's at 500. Can get a shot in the water here. Oh, nice, something just fell in, made some nice ripples. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna jump over to the computer and check out these images. We're over here in Lightroom, and I'm gonna show you the images that we took while we were outside in the driveway, and I'm gonna show you how to post-process them to get a similar look to my original image. So if you look here in Lightroom, this is the original image I posted on Instagram. The images that we got while we were in the driveway look kind of like this, okay? Doesn't look too fancy, but you got the puddle there and the leaves, and I think I'm actually gonna edit this one right here because I think it's kind of cool. I like how it's got the water drop in it, or actually the leaf that just fell in it, I guess. Jump into Develop module, press D. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a reference photo, which is the one that we started with here. So we want to make this photo look similar to this photo. So to get started editing this photo, the first thing I'm going to do is come over here to Profile, and I'm going to select the Camera Landscape Profile. Next, let's see, white balance. I'm going to leave that where it is for now. Let's see, I'm going to bring in some contrast here. Maybe I'm going to leave, let's leave the exposure where it is. We'll drop down the highlights a little bit. Bring up the shadows a little. The white point, I'm going to automatically set that by holding Shift and double clicking on the whites, and the same for the blacks. All right, I'm going to come down to clarity, add a little bit of clarity. I think the first thing I'm going to do is the next thing I'm going to do is come down to tone curve. We're going to make that medium contrast. I like a lot of contrast, and we can see in our original image here, we have a lot of contrast. So the next thing you might be wondering is, how do we get these kind of colors? So in the HSL panel here, it gives you the ability to shift colors a little bit. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to just start playing with these sliders a little bit, and you can see, you know, you can bring in some more oranges, or we can make it more yellow. So I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the oranges. Let's see if I push the yellows a little bit. I'm going to bring those back towards the oranges a little bit more. Red, I'm not sure if that's going to have too much of an effect. It doesn't look like too much. There's not really much green going on in the picture, so don't have to worry about that. And same with the blues. You can see it changes here a little bit. I guess there's a blue tint to the driveway there. Let's come down here, down to saturation. Gonna kind of boost the oranges a little. And actually, I'm just gonna grab this little pick selector tool here. It'll pick the color for me.
And we're just going to bring that saturation up a little bit. You know, I may even introduce a little bit of blues into the shadows, maybe. Although in our reference image here, it looks like it's almost a little more greenish. You know, what if we did? Well, I kind of like the blues, the cooler look. So let's do that and just drop down our saturation and just bring in just a little bit. So it looks a little different than our original, but that's all right. Still like it. Sharpening. Bring that up around 75. I'm going to hold the Option key and adjust my masking. So this is the focus of my picture right here, right where the leaf fell into the water. Come in, do the lens corrections and chromatic aberrations, fix that. So you can see it brightened up the image. So I think I might come up here and actually drop back the exposure just a little bit. -20. I'm liking that. Might even bring in a little bit of a vignette. Generally do around -11. All right, not too bad. And then let's play with the white balance. What happens if I change it to auto? It still stays kind of blue. Just try out daylight here. Hey, daylight really warms it up pretty nice. So that's kind of cool. It's looking a little closer to this. I kind of like that. I'm going to stick with that. All right, so let's bring this up big here. So you can see where we started here with our before picture and our after picture here, where we've adjusted the colors and kind of made everything pop a little bit more. The next thing I might do is crop it for Instagram, go with a 1:1 crop. And let's see, how do I like it? I think I might actually put this right on the upper third there. And here you go. I think it's kind of cool. Some other things I might do is just come into the adjustment brush. I might go with I have a wet look kind of brush that I like to use. And basically it's contrast and clarity. You just bump them up by the same amount. And then what that does is give you a nice kind of wet look to the pavement. Even though it's already wet, it kind of just sharpens it up, makes it a little bit crisper and clearer. Bring that in there. Turn off my auto mask here. If you want to see where you're painting, you could press the letter O, and that'll bring up your mask. It'll show you where you're actually painting. So I'm going to turn that off. And then the last thing I think I want to do here is just kind of bring in a little bit of a graduated filter here. And I just kind of want to bring down the highlights a little bit. Maybe close out the shadows a little, and I think I'm going to do the same from the top. Just kind of bring it down here and darken that up, that edge up a little bit. Bring down my highlights, darken it down just a little bit. And if I want to highlight this area a little bit more, I might use a radial filter here. Drag that out and make it just a little bit brighter, add a little bit of sharpness in there, around 25. I might even want to darken the image a little bit more, just so that center part pops a little bit more. That's a little too much. Let's do minus, say 0.5 and see how that looks. A little much. I might even do minus 0.4. There we go. That's kind of cool looking. Almost want to darken that up a little bit more. So I'm going to come over here with an adjustment brush. Drop that back the exposure a little bit. Make sure my auto mask is off, and I'm just going to paint in a little bit around here. Okay, done. All right, there we go. And there we have a pretty cool looking image taken in the driveway with a puddle, some leaves, and some cool colors. All right, so I hope this helped you see how you can get awesome pictures even if you're not in an awesome location. Here, just in the driveway, I got some pretty good pictures. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.